Hey funnel builders, Mike here from Sell Your Service. Are you worried about hiring people, or maybe you're looking to hire people but you think that you can't afford to? In this video, I want to talk to you about why you should be able to hire people, how to hire people effectively, how to get rid of the worry about hiring people, and it's not about not being able to afford to hire people. In fact, you can't afford not to hire people. Hey funnel builders, Mike Killen here from Sell Your Service. If you're a funnel builder, you should subscribe because I produce new videos every single week to help funnel builders like you attract more clients, increase your income, and sell more funnels. So maybe you're struggling to grow the business. You know that you want to give yourself a little bit more time back. You've watched some of my other videos and you've thought, yeah, maybe I should be kind of doing less of the client work and focusing more on my own business. So you think, yeah, well, obviously I need to hire people. And you know that a lot of people talk about hiring and outsourcing, but you think you just haven't got the confidence or the ability. Maybe you've never done it before and the whole kind of concept seems very foreign and very scary because it looks like there's a lot of risk involved with hiring people. Even with risk to do with getting things wrong or doing a bad job with the client. I think a lot of us have this nightmare where we're doing work for the customer, and because we hire someone to do it and we outsource it, they do a good job, so it kind of impacts our reputation. I think there's a big misconception about having to pay a big salary up front. I've never experienced that personally, and yeah, absolutely, if you can afford to, then hiring on a salary basis is fantastic, but it's not the way that I would start hiring. If you've never hired before, it doesn't make sense to go into a long-term contract with someone with a salary when you're still experimenting on the types of roles and the jobs that you need other people to do. There's also a bit of a misconception about the quality of work, and while yes, I have had my fingers burnt by bad quality work, it actually doesn't happen as often as you might think. One of the reasons that work quality does drop is actually on you, not on the person doing the work. I believe that most people who are hired to do a job want to do a good job, and our kind of role as the director or the person hiring is to enable them to do a good job. A big part of getting the right people for the right job is frankly charging enough, and we'll talk about that in a bit. I've got some free training in the description down below on how to choose the perfect niche for your funnel business. Even if you've tried to find a niche before, I want to show you the mind-numbingly dull secret behind choosing the perfect niche and what Ryan Deiss does to find a profitable niche. So the reason that most people can't hire is because they're not charging enough. When we look at the projects that we take on, if you're selling marketing funnels or if you're selling traffic services or SEO or whatever it is that you're doing, it can be very tempting to lowball the price and think, well, you'll do it. I remember when I first started out, I said, well, I'll be doing the work, so I'll be able to undercut all of my competition. And of course, what that meant is that I would do all the work, and it would mean that I never had any money left over really for myself, and I never grew the business. So I was always kind of stuck between having no leads and no work, and then loads of work, and then kind of swinging backwards and forwards. If you're worried about being able to afford people, it's probably because you're not charging enough. And as I mentioned, you don't have to have huge, massive salaries to go with. You can do this thing what I call small and elastic. So I'm actually going to kind of cover this in another video. When we first make a hire, I want you to first of all increase your prices. I want you to think, how much would it cost me to hire somebody else to do this work for me? And there's a lot of people out there who do good work and they're not interested in running a business. They just want to freelance. And you think, well, that person said that they can build this entire funnel system for $8,000, which means it's going to cost the customer roughly $24,000. There's absolutely nothing wrong with hiring other people to do the work. Your job is to liaise with the customer, build a relationship with them, partner with them, and get other people to do it. When you increase your prices, you're able to hire better people. But one of the reasons that work doesn't go well is because you don't have a documented process. I like to take checklists and things that I do regularly and repeatedly, and I'll cover this in another video, and get other people to do those things. For example, one of my goals was to basically give me Friday back. So I took all of the things that I do on a Friday, which is things like newsletters, releasing blog posts, publishing YouTube videos, and essentially passed that over to other people. I just recorded my screen and kind of looked at what it is that I was doing. And on the small and elastic scale kind of hiring process, it means that if you've got documented processes, it means that when new work comes in and you say, I need you to set up this hosting, I need you to build this funnel system, I need you to write these emails, they've got a process they can go through, and you just have to hire based on when you need it. You don't have to pay people if they're not working for you. A big bonus of the gig economy means that when people are working for you, they can work as and when, and if they can't do it because they're busy, you can always find somebody else who can do it for you. But if you have documented processes, it reduces risk. It means that the process runs smoothly, it's less likely to make mistakes. It's not perfect, of course, people are going to make mistakes. I was only talking to a colleague of mine the other week about this, and I completely understand that it's not flawless, you know, you're still taking risk, but it is a way to mitigate risk. Just a final note on the thing of cost. If you are wondering how much it would cost you to get somebody else to do the work, I like to do costs times 3. So I'll ask somebody, like a freelancer, how much is it going to cost you to do this SEO work or this copywriting or whatever, and they'll say it costs $1,000. I know that roughly timesing that cost by 3 gives me what I should be passing on to the customer. I've got overheads, I've got bills, there's tax to pay, there's management fees, there's a lot that goes into that process. Occasionally I'll get people have a go at me for this process, but the reality is that this is how profitable businesses are run, and if you can find a more profitable model for being able to hire people, pay them a decent salary, pay them the right amount of work, get the best results for the customer, I'm all ears. But most professional businesses will take the costs, times them by 3, and pass that on to the consumer. Another final piece is to think about the budget that the customer's got. Maybe they've got a budget of, and I'll do it easily so I can divide it by 3. Maybe they've got a budget of $30,000. You know that then you've got $10,000 to get somebody else to do that work for you. That's a way of flipping that model, is take their budget, divide it by 3, and that's roughly how much you can spend on getting other people to do the work for you. You can also take some of those costs and then start to think, well, what are your admin costs in running the business? What are your costs in getting other people to do your admin tasks? How big is your team? How many part-time people do you have? How many full-time people do you have? Do you have people based all over the world? We've got a small team at Sell Your Service. Everyone is based all over the world. We've got people in England, we've got people in Africa, Australia, America, all over the place, in India as well, all over the world. Some people do work for us, 40 hours a week. Some people do 2 or 3 hours a week here and there. Some people just do a couple of hours a month, depending on the job that we need doing. Whenever new work comes in, I'll make sure that those processes are there for them to follow through. And then occasionally, yeah, we've had to get rid of people, but let me know your story with hiring in the comments below. If this video was useful, I'd really appreciate a share and a like. It massively helps me out, especially if you share it on somewhere like LinkedIn or on Facebook or something. That's a big help to me. Make sure to hit the little bell notification icon as well, because that lets you know when I have new videos go live. In the meantime, guys, thank you very much for watching this, and I'll see you on the next video. Keep building those funnels. I've got some free training in the description down below on how to choose the perfect niche for your funnel business. Even if you've tried to find a niche before, I want to show you the mind-numbingly dull secret behind choosing the perfect niche and what Ryan Deiss does to find a profitable niche. Thanks for watching, guys. I've got a couple of videos here which you might be interested in, talking about funnel related topics like how to price a marketing funnel and how to find your first marketing funnel customer. In the meantime, if this video was useful, hit that like button, make sure to leave me a comment and subscribe if you are a funnel builder. I'll see you on the next video. Keep building those funnels.